How's everybody doing out there today on this lovely Wednesday, hump day of the week, October the 13th? This is a very unscheduled live. I usually don't do movie live reviews, but I wanted to do this one because I had scheduled it last Friday for the movie night, the weekly movie night live reaction. But y'all know I try to watch the first 30 minutes before I come on live, and it's a very good reason for that, and you're about to hear it. This movie was not that great for me. I actually fell asleep on it. And so I woke up and it was way past, I was over with for the live, of course, and the movie was over. So I started it back and rewatched it and made it to the end. Let me explain what it's about. Let me explain what the movie is about with a review. I'm going to give you guys an ending explain and my overall rating, which you guys know is not going to be very high, seeing it as I fell asleep. Now, it may not put you to sleep, so don't go by the live reaction that I had. Just go and watch it yourself. It may keep you entertained. So let me pull up the visuals. I tried to get as much photos as possible to put together a visual. It's not very many of them out on this movie for some reason, but I did my best. So I hope you guys can appreciate it. And while you're here, if you're new to the channel, can I get a subscription from you, please? Thank you and welcome to the family. Now, The Manor. It is part of Amazon Originals and their BlumHouse production Scarefest for October. I've read that they had a contract for 8 movies, so I think these are the last 4 movies of that contract. Let's dive into The Manor. Judith is a grandmother who she has one daughter and she has a grandson, 16 years old. His name is Josh. She used to be a ballet dancer, Judith, and her husband, who has passed away, was a great piano player. At her 70th birthday party, she suffers a stroke, and at her own decision, she decides it would be best to be placed in an elderly assistant home until she recovers. Now, from her first few minutes in the place, the nurses seem nice, but they're strict. And there is no cell phone policy Judith did not know about and did not read in her documents. But nevertheless, Judith seems like a new schoolgirl on her first day there. And she also witnesses her roommate suffer from night terrors, which was, this movie has jump scares and the intense suspense in it, the build up, the whole what's gonna happen or what's behind the corner is very it's like rampant in this movie, but there is no actual horror, just so you know. So, as she witnesses her roommate go through these night terrors, her roommate is gripping her Bible and is kept sedated by the staff. But Judith does start to find that her things are missing, only for the staff to find them in the same place that she left them. One of the nurses takes Judith to a tree near the manor that has dead crows on the path and a burning circle. When questioned, the nurse explains that it's just kids who keep breaking onto the property. Now, one night, Judith witnesses a strange figure standing over her roommate, and things start to escalate for Judith. She pleads to leave as she has grown uncomfortable to stay there, but 3 patients, Ronald, Ruth, and Trish, are attempting to persuade Judith of the benefits to staying at the manor and making the most of her stay because no one leaves. Ever. Her grandson Josh is allowed to visit, in which one day Judith breaks out of the manor and begs her grandson to help find out what exactly the manor is hiding. After forcibly being returned to the manor, the staff's head doctor informs Judith's daughter her erratic behavior is due to early stages of dementia found on an MRI. Judith does not believe the daughter, who recommends and paints the pictures to Judith's daughter to keep her indefinitely is the best option for Judith's health and her safety. Now well aware that the manor has succeeded in keeping her against her will, she breaks into the staff office and finds the same names of the staff in the patient's file, and their admittance dates are over 30 years old. She also finds out that all the MRI scans are the same, confirming the doctor is in on the scam. Upon going back to her room, Ronald is there, and he's making a move on Judith trying to get fresh, but he actually was covering up that he was leaving dead crow heads in her bed. With the help of her grandson, she is able to piece together that Trish, Ronald, and Ruth are lying, and through some freaky old Irish witchcraft magic, they are staying alive and somehow in good health. All are answered when Ronald forces Judith and Josh to the big tree. Once there, Ronald explains no one leaves the manor because the tree is magic, and either you're marked or you're sacrificed. So the mark that you see in, I didn't even put it up. Hold on, let me replay it. You're gonna see a mark come up in this video. That mark actually is put on you when the tree joins you to the magic witch cult. Okay, now if you don't get the mark, then you get 8, just flat out. All right, just so you know. So the creature decides who your fate is. If you summon the creature with a lock of hair and like a spell, then that person is automatically killed no matter what. In other words, Ruth, Trish, and Ronald appear as themselves at times and appear at younger versions of themselves disguised as staff. This happens because they decided to join the dark side in order to gain immortality without suffering through their old age and dying alone. If anyone who fights or refuses to join is sacrificed to the tree creature. If the tree is ever cut down, then everyone loses their immortality and no magic can be born from the tree. With Ronald being deceptive, thinking that he's about to kill Judith because she knows about what's going on, he throws what he believes is a lock of her hair into the fire, but it actually is his own, which he gets sacrificed to the tree. So, with that, Judith prepares to try to destroy the tree. Once she is explained by Trish and Ruth the meaning of the tree, they convince Judith, through her grandson as well, that she does not want to die alone and get old and forgotten, while her grandson watches her diminish. So rather, she can feel young every day and dance like she once did every night under the tree and stars. At the end, that is exactly what she chooses to do. She keeps the secret. So yeah, grandma becomes a witch. Her grandson gets hired as staff at the manor to help keep his grandmother's secret along with the property and the rest of the patients. Yeah. So the ending is the last 15 minutes of the film is the bomb because it pieces everything together. You actually see the tree creature. It is a real monster on the grounds. You don't feel like maybe Ruth is suffering from dementia. She not crazy. All that stuff is real. So you kind of feel like, oh, good, she wasn't going crazy. But then as you just think, yes, destroy the tree so you can get the hell out of there, she decides to stay. And so she's not going to get out. She's going to be a witch. She's going to live her life. In the daytime is Judith, and at night she's going to be young Judith the dancer under the moonlight. Okay, that's how that works. Now, this movie kind of reminded me of Death Becomes Her. Is that what it is? It kind of reminded me of that, minus the tree part. Just as far as like the never wanting to get old and dying alone plot, that part kind of reminded me of the movie. But as I mentioned, this movie did not keep my attention because it lacks climax and any type of excitement for at least an hour. I mean, it is slow to drag to get to some real action. It has, like I said, its moments of suspense, but for me, it's so low of suspense that it's like, oh, can you just go ahead and peep around the corner so we can see what's going to happen? Or can you just pull the curtains back, lady? Because the one thing about it is, because they're playing on your mind in the eyes of Judith to make you believe and go along that it may be her suffering from this illness, and it's all in her head. Every time you think you're going to see something, you don't, you know? So that kind of, you like, So to me, if you're not a person who's patient enough for that, then you'll be over this movie before it even gets started. But when I did go back and picked up where I left off at it, I noticed that, like I said, I'll say it picks up the last 30 minutes of the movie, and then of course the action start at the last 15. So the last 30 minutes of the film is really where it gets going. Unfortunately, this movie is only an hour and 25 minutes, so that just lets you know, a whole hour of fluff, 25 minutes of real action. There you go. But the movie got a movie, people. We can't just have a 25-minute movie in theaters. It doesn't work like that. So my overall rating of this movie, unfortunately for me, is a flat out 6. I will give it a 6 because of the ending. If it didn't have the great ending, it would be a flat out 3. So that is my rating for this movie. I still do want you guys to go watch it. It is on Amazon, as I mentioned before. Go check it out. Come back. Drop down in the comment sections and let me know how you feel about it. Did you fall asleep on it? Did you find it good, interesting, exciting, all that good stuff? I want to know. Okay? Also, before you leave, if you do not mind, please support the channel with a thumbs up. I really appreciate it on this live. And please subscribe. We are on a goal to 500 subscribers. Thank you for watching. And I'm out of here until Friday for the next movie night. Peace.